Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do a chit chat video. This wasn't the video that I had planned today. I was actually going to edit and upload a homeschool update, but I think I'm going to push that into next week and upload this today. I just felt more like a chit chat video was appropriate than that one, and you guys can look forward to that next week. But I feel like there's a decent amount to get you guys up on. I'm not sure when the last time I filmed in my bedroom was, because I feel like you haven't seen my desk. Like, this feels strange, like it's not normally here. So I don't know, but this is my desk. It's a mess, as per usual. It's always like this, but hopefully my head blocks most of that for the video. And this is where I get all my work done now anymore. And if you see dirty laundry everywhere, it's because it's laundry day. So I stripped my bed and everything, so it's a little bit of a mess right now, but I still wanted to take the chance to talk to you guys during nap time. Lexi's down for a nap. The older girls are in their bedroom playing with LOL dolls, so if you hear anything going on behind me, that's what they're doing. A rare moment of everybody getting along and doing what they need to, so I'm going to take this opportunity. So I feel like it's been a long time since I've done a chit chat video, but we just recently got over our first cold since COVID, was what I was trying to say. So basically ever since this all started, we haven't been sick once, which we've been really thankful for. And honestly, I was pretty scared because I've heard a lot of people say the first time that they've been sick, like since this all started, it's pretty rough just because your body's not used to it. It's like a whole immune response thing. But thankfully it was really mild. So I was really, really glad for that. And it started with Sophie and then worked its way to me and then to Remy and then to Lexi, and Mark just happened to skip it altogether, which is amazing. So no, like, I'm glad he didn't have to go through it. I mean, again, it wasn't anything horrible. It was like sore throat for a couple of days and then congestion, and that lasted for about like a week, and then it just went away. It was really mild, nothing crazy. Super thankful for that. And Lexi's been a champ through it because I can hear that she's congested, which she's mostly getting over at this point, but she has been sleeping good. She has been not really that much more clingy to me than what she normally is. She's my little shadow. She follows me everywhere, but she's handling it really well too. And that was kind of the curveball I was waiting for, because we haven't seen Lexi like have a cold or be sick or anything really since this all started either. I had no idea what she's like when she's sick, and thankfully she handled it pretty well. So yeah, we were coming out of that. A big thank you to Melanie, who sent us a humidifier and not cough drops, but like lollipops that are cough drops for kids. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about here. My brain's a little scrambled, so bear with me. But she also sent that, and then some essential oil to put in the diffuser. Those helped so much. Our stores like didn't have anything. I'm assuming that it's just because it's germy season and everybody has a cold or something or other. So it's really hard to find stuff in store, and thank you so much, Melanie. And my best friend Taylor sent me a Starbucks gift card, and my grandma baked us all a cake, and it was just really cute and really appreciated. So like I said, we are kind of like wrapping that up. I mean, Sophie sounds completely normal at this point. Remy has just like a little bit of congestion, and so does Lexi, but they're basically on the mend. And the whole time too, they were acting completely normal, which is great. You know, it's like one thing if your kid is sick, but it's another like when it takes them down and out and it kind of erases their little personalities. It's like such a bummer to see as a parent, but thankfully they kept all their energy. They were playing like normal and stuff like that, so I was really thankful. But we took like a weird like week and a half off of school just to, you know, deal with that. I didn't want to push it. I just wanted to focus on them getting better. Honestly, like I said, I expected it to be a lot worse. Thankfully it wasn't, but it started like in the second half of last week, and I just decided, oh, you know, we're not doing it this week. We probably could have gotten away with doing it today, but it's Friday and it's like, oh. So I think we're gonna pick up on Monday and just go to Thursday, get some schoolwork in, and then take the week after Christmas off as well, like another longer kind of week basically. But school has been going really well. I'm just really thankful for this year. It's been a complete 180 from last year. Like I said, I can't remember the last time I did a chit chat video, but I feel like I've talked to you guys about that before, about how last year was just intimidating and overwhelming, and like we were all learning together on how to do this, and this year just feels so much more routine. Even when our routine is thrown off, it's just like, I don't know, we're in a better place with homeschooling than we were last year, and I'm really thankful for that. So which also kind of leads me into a question that I've been getting a lot recently, which is I did share over on my Instagram that the older girls, I should say, the older girls are fully vaccinated with their COVID-19 shots, which is amazing. And we're so, so excited. It's been more than 2 weeks now since their second shot. So they're fully vaccinated. Awesome. And we had like a little party to celebrate all of that. Before everything started happening, we were gonna go to Build-A-Bear for Remy's 4th birthday, and that never happened. It just kept getting pushed and pushed, and even when rates weren't high, it just didn't feel like a necessary risk. It wasn't something that they were constantly asking for, so it was just something that we were like waiting to do. And then when we came up with the idea to kind of do like a little party or whatever, it just got added onto that list. So we did Build-A-Bear, and then we went to Claire's for some clip-on earrings because neither of them want their ears pierced, they just want to wear earrings, so we got some clip-ons. And then after that we went to Barnes and Noble, and then after that we finished at Target. It was something that all of us were looking forward to, and it's just such like a fun little night, and it was so perfect, and I'm so proud of them. And it's just one of those things where, like, you know, we wished that our kids didn't have to be this resilient and this adaptable and things along those lines, but you know, they have been, and we just wanted to say thank you and make up for it in any way that we could. So definitely didn't expect for that to happen the week before Christmas, but I also don't get to choose when the vaccines come out. So there, you know, it happened. We had a great time. And with that, me posting about it, I had a lot of questions about the girls in school. As long as it feels like a safe option, the girls will be going to public school next year. We won't be homeschooling anymore. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say there's absolutely no chance that we're homeschooling next year. I learned to quit saying that with everything that has unfolded in the past 2 years. You know, never say never. Honestly, it's true. So I didn't see us homeschooling for a second year. Here I am. And while I would like to imagine that Lexi gets vaccinated and we all have our vaccines or boosters or like whatever we need, you know, and that it's a perfectly safe option and it feels like a good thing, it's also like 8 months away. So who knows what can happen in that time frame. I hope it's nothing but good things. I hope we're in nothing but a better place. But being in the United States, that's not historically accurate. So we will wait and see. But the plan is for the girls to be in public school, and Lexi would start preschool, which is bananas to me. And that also just like segues into the next thing. I'm just finding these perfect little, you know, rhythms into the next subject, but brings me to something else that I talked about on Instagram, something that I haven't talked a ton about. I've mentioned it here and there, I think in passing on my channel, but never in depth because I just didn't want to have a conversation about it. It's one of those things that kind of like gave me anxiety, so I didn't want to hide from it, but at the same time I wasn't ready to just like have a full-on conversation. But Lexi was a late talker. At her 2-year well visit, I think we had like 17 words, and she did not try to repeat any of them. She did not try new words on her own. She wasn't really putting together phrases. She had like, she could say thank you and also who's that? She could say phrases like that, but not any new ones. Like those had been since she had started talking. So I brought it up at the 2-year well visit, and all things considered, because Lexi could understand us, she also had nonverbal communication and just like a bunch of other things that me and her pediatrician went over. Her pediatrician wasn't concerned, although she said, you know, if it's a couple months and you're still concerned, come back to me, we'll get a referral into speech, and you know, she could start speech therapy. And we noticed the pattern with Lexi that she would have a couple months in between finding new words before her 2-year well visit. So she would know like 3 words, and then a few months would go by and nothing would progress at all. And then like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it would be like boom, she learned like 5 more out of nowhere. It would just like, it would explode periodically. And with that in mind and everything that we had gone over at the pediatrician visit, I just had this gut feeling that like eventually it would explode to the point of like where it would allow her to progress and like develop even further with her language. And I figured we'd either get there by herself or with the help of speech therapy. I was thinking that in the beginning of the year, if there hadn't been any more progress, that I would make that appointment to get a speech therapy referral. And Mark actually started practicing her ABCs with her. And if we're being completely honest, when he started doing it, I didn't think much of it. I had never thought to do it because I figured if she doesn't want to try new words, she's certainly not going to try letters and letter sounds. But I am so glad I was so wrong, because she just immediately took to it. Just immediately. And it was a big deal when she was repeating the letters to him, because it was like she did not repeat words. No matter how many times we asked her or we knew that she understood what that word was or anything, she just never had that interest. So when she did finally start repeating him and then also trying new letters with him, it was just such a great sign of progress. And every single night they had a routine, well, and they still do, but of just going over the letters, and just slowly with that came her repeating words, trying new ones, putting together phrases, and so much more. Like, I'm so glad Mark started that up with her and that he was able to get that breakthrough with her. And it by no means means that there's anything wrong with speech therapy. We've been in speech therapy for feeding related issues, never actually to do with like language skills, but I have absolutely nothing but good things to say about the speech pathologist that I've met. And a lot of people were asking when I posted about that if we had done anything to progress her speech, and we hadn't. I mean, yes, we did try and get her to try new words. We've tried books and flashcards and things along that nature, but nothing ever seemed to, you know, do what we had hoped it would. And we also were working on how we spoke to her. I follow Raising Little Talkers, and I'll link her Instagram down below. She's a speech pathologist and she's amazing to follow on Instagram. So she has a lot of just, you know, regular advice. You know, it's nothing like sit down and do this with your child. It's more about like everyday adaptations that you can do to hopefully, you know, like make some progress. So I follow her and we were doing stuff along those lines, but we weren't actively trying anything at home, because the books and the flashcards and the YouTube videos, they never really seemed to do anything. So we decided to just kind of back off those things. That also didn't really seem to do anything either. And honestly, just working on the ABCs with her is what helped. You know, maybe there's a reason for it and maybe there's not. I was kind of wondering if maybe learning the letter sounds was less intimidating than trying a whole word, and it was like the confidence and the reassurance in her capabilities for her to be able to see all of that herself that kind of sparked it. But you know, we'll probably never know. It might be a combination of things. It could be something much more scientific, but just really thankful. And yeah, so her going to preschool sounds absolutely bananas to me, because I feel like she's still like a newborn. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, she's just a few months old. And it's like, no, like she's 2, and next year she will be 3, which is just so crazy. I'm so excited for her to also be able to eventually go out and just like experience things normally, because she truly is the one who has missed out the most. She has absolutely no idea what life was before all of this, and she was born in August of 2019, so we were home most of the winter before COVID, just because it's flu season and she was a newborn. So we were home because of that, and really didn't have a lot of places to go, with it being winter in the Midwest and the weather just not being the greatest all the time. And right around the time that the weather started getting better is when the pandemic hit, and it was like, she really, like, she doesn't know what riding in a shopping cart's like. She doesn't know what going out to eat is like. She doesn't know what a lot of things are. So I'm really excited for her sisters and her and everybody to be able to experience that, and for her to really get an honest feel of what this world is like outside of our little home, and like grandpa and grandma's, because that's basically the only other places that she really knows besides the inside of our car. But yeah, it's just been a really fun time, and I'm really thankful for the holidays this year. Last year, for both Thanksgiving and for Christmas, we celebrated by ourselves and we did stuff over Zoom and stuff with our relatives, and it was hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, last Christmas ended with Mark and I crying in front of the Christmas tree because it was just so hard, and it was a lot. It really was. It was a really difficult year last year, and this year in a lot of ways has not been any easier. But at least these past two holidays we have been able to celebrate with family and have them here, and people are vaccinated and safe, and it just feels so good, and definitely something that I will never take for granted. It's not something that I ever thought about, you know. It's just like one of those things that's just, that is how it is, you know. You just always spend your holidays with X, Y, and Z, and when that changes because of circumstances that nobody can control, you know, it's just it's really tough. So I hope that, you know, this holiday season, hopefully all of you guys are in a better boat. But if you're not, that you're gentle with yourselves and that you're taking care of yourselves, because I think that was another thing about last year. I was so wrapped up in making sure that this felt so normal for the kids that I never really took a second to think about how it was affecting myself. I think that comes naturally as a parent. That's just what you do. You put yourself on the back burner to make your kids' lives just whatever it needs to be. But I wish, you know, like more times after they went to bed, or like I just had a moment to myself, that I gave myself that space to feel whatever I needed to feel too. Feelings of anger and upset and grief about whatever you may or may not be missing. Like, all of that is completely normal. It's completely valid. So many people have made sacrifices, so don't feel like you need to bottle that up and like keep it away, and you definitely deserve to feel those things. But I hope that everybody is in a better position this holiday season. And Mark and I did get our boosters, and honestly we were kind of worried about that because we've heard some people say it was really rough, but we got our third Moderna shot and it went over pretty fine. We both had a headache afterwards, the day after, or well, the evening after. We got them done in like the early afternoon, and then by that night we had a headache, and took some Tylenol PM, went to sleep. The next day, just not feeling like 100%, but nothing crazy. And after that, completely fine. So really thankful for that. And because of the different variants coming out, it's always a good idea to get your boosters. And that just kind of brings me back around to this year and getting ready for the holidays. I can't believe Christmas is like basically a week away. I'll try my best to upload this today, and it's 8 days away, but tomorrow is a week, and that just feels crazy. And my grandma actually mentioned it, and I think that's the reason why, is like because of, depending on where Thanksgiving falls for the United States, depends on how many weeks we get between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So this year we didn't have that extra week after Thanksgiving to like pad and like give that extra time between the holidays. So it really feels like all of a sudden it's Christmas, which I'm excited for, because Lexi's at a fun age, you know, where she can finally understand what's going on with Christmas. And the older girls are definitely just like, the older they get, the more appreciative and like understanding they are, which just is amazing. And day by day you definitely have those moments of like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing this wrong? Am I making the wrong decision? Am I teaching them the right things? Am I doing this enough? You know, doubting yourself a lot. And I just feel like these kids give you these moments where you're like, no, we're getting it right. We're getting it right. It doesn't always feel that like that. And, you know, I'm sure no matter what, some ways we're making mistakes as parents, but like on a big scale, you know, we're doing things right. And that was pretty evident the night we took them to do that little party, because after we went through Starbucks, we were getting everybody situated with what we had ordered, and we were going home for the night. And they were like, we have something we want to tell you guys. Thank you so much, and you guys are the best parents ever. And it was like just one of those moments where you just look at your partner and you're like, all right, we're doing a good job. Like, yeah, like they're great kids. And it's not just because they're thankful, it's because of everything else too. But in like those little moments, they just shine through even more, and just so grateful to have like the best kids ever. And I know I'm biased, but I do think that they're best kids ever. I mean, I feel like everybody's allowed to feel that. I'm sure you guys think that you have the best kids ever, and I'm sure you do. There's plenty of the best kid status to go around here. I know when they were younger, I was worried that as they would get older, that the holidays would kind of mean less, that they wouldn't be as special. But I just feel like as they get older, they mean more and more. I just feel like it's so much more fun when they're in on those traditions and the magic of the holidays with you. And Lexi now finally gets to be a part of that too, because she is old enough. I'm just so excited to see all of them on Christmas morning. And also Mark, because I have some really cool things planned for his stocking. Well, not planned anymore. They're here and I have them bought and stuff, but like, I am so happy with how his stocking turned out. I bought a couple more things since that stocking video. Of course I did. Stocking videos, like, that's my starting point. That's what I show you guys. I am still buying stuff as the holiday season goes on. It's really funny because I had a lot of people ask me about my budget for the holidays, and Mark and I always typically do like a conversation at some point about if we're getting each other gifts, like how much we want to spend on the kids and stuff. And when we talked about our budget for the kids, I was like, oh, like, does that include stockings? And he's like, no, I just kind of figure that you spend what you spend on stockings, and that's just how it goes. I myself have been doing pretty well. I actually went to my first in-person therapy appointment. So I actually started therapy whenever everything was happening. So they only had telehealth, which is basically virtual therapy, and that is just what we've stuck to because it's super easy. And then that way I don't have like a drive, or you know, it's not like I'm gone for hours at a time. I don't have to worry about a bunch of different stuff. I come in here, I put in my AirPods, and then I'm just able to talk to her on here, and I just close the door while Mark's out there with the kids, and it's super easy and really convenient, and it makes sure that I actually get therapy in. But we had our first in-person session, and that went a lot better than I was expecting. I had a lot of anxiety on the way there, and I tried my hardest not to chicken out, and I didn't, so that was really good. It's really hard for me to want to go to new unknown places, but I did it anyways, and it was a great session. So I think we're gonna start like working in a hybrid model of sometimes going in person and flip-flopping between that and also virtual, which is really nice. I feel like I've gotten to a much better rhythm with work. I will say that the first half of the year is much harder for me to come up with content. I just don't feel as like inspired. It's harder for me to think of ideas. And then like once we hit like August and on, I'm like, I got it. I know what I'm doing from here on out. And I think it's mainly because it's like gift giving season to me. That's where almost all of like our birthdays and anniversaries and holidays are, with the exception of Remy being in April and my birthday being in July. But you know, it's like, I don't know, I just get on this kick and like it's so much easier. But I'm hoping that I can still keep this kind of rhythm and momentum into the next year. I don't want to push myself too hard. I want to just keep doing what I love doing, and you guys liking videos, commenting on them, telling me what you want to see more of or what you might be waiting on, like things like that. It really does help me gauge on like what you like and what you don't, and what you would like to see more of and things like that. I have had an idea of like sharing more content surrounding myself. I don't know, it just feels a little weird, like it doesn't fit here. But over on Instagram, I did ask you guys if you would like to see after Christmas a what I got for Christmas. So what I, Alia, got for Christmas. And overwhelming majority, I think there was only like 1 or 2 people who voted no out of like a couple hundred. And almost all of you said yes, so I was really shocked by that. The same Melanie who sent me the diffuser and stuff for the girls when they were sick, she also sent me these 2 books, which I'm so thankful for. She recommended this Then She Was Gone book, which I've seen a lot of people recommend. It says that it's a book club favorite. I've definitely heard of it and I've seen it on TikTok a lot, but I've never like once looked into it. I think it is on my TBR, but it's like always checked out of my library, so I just figured I'd get to it when it was finally back there. But then she also did send me Behind Closed Doors, and I had never heard of this one before, but when I posted this on my Instagram, there were so many people who said this read was amazing. So I'm very, very excited to start these, although I do have a stack of library books that I need to get through, and that's what I'm trying to work on before I'm allowed to read any of this. And then also, lastly, to do with books, Mark bought me a Kindle. I got a little pop socket to go in the back of it here because I was in bed trying to read it and I felt like it slipped out of my hands a lot, so this pop socket is nice for me to just like hold on to. But he got me a Kindle. I already read my first book on there. I feel like I move so much quicker on the Kindle than I do a physical book, but I'm still a physical book kind of girl. I like flipping through pages, and I don't know what it is, I prefer library books. Like, it's not even just the hardcover stuff, because I also have paperbacks that I take out of library too, but just the feeling of like they're not laminated covers, but you know what I'm saying? Like the library covers that they put on there. I don't know. I'm getting a little too weird here, but I just prefer library books. I don't know. I've noticed that. But with the Kindle, they gave me 4 free months of Kindle Unlimited. So I read a book from there, and it's probably my favorite book of 2021. I don't want to say much because I'm hoping to get through the books that I want to get through the next couple of weeks. And I thought about doing a my favorite books of 2021, and I'm sure like not a ton of people would be interested in that, but it's something that I would think is really fun. So let me know how you feel about that down below, or like maybe like just a my favorites of 2021. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments what you would prefer. If it's more than books or just focus on the books, 2 separate videos, let me know, because I feel like with the books I'm probably gonna talk a lot. So if you want to see even more favorites, let me know and I'll just do 2 separate ones, because that could definitely be an option as well. But I hope all of you are doing super well, that you're able to enjoy this season and do what makes you comfortable, celebrate how you're comfortable celebrating. I know that the holidays are a stressful time for people for a lot of different reasons, and the past couple of years have like honestly has not done anything other than add more stress to it. But I hope despite all that, that you're doing well, your family is doing well, that you guys can have the happiest holiday season out there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching.